So today we are learning standard form. But before I proceed, please subscribe to this channel. That's the only way you can help me. Thank you, and like the video, and hope you find the video educative. So what is standard form? Standard form is actually a short way of writing a very long figure like, let's say, 98 million, and a very small figure like, let's say, 0.0000000 can be unlimited 4, yes, or let's say 42, yes, 0.00000, yes, so unlimited 042. So that is very small because the more the zeros, the smaller it becomes. So, but for this, the more the zeros, the bigger it becomes. So you may also add more zeros to this, like having it at 80 million or 9,800,000,000 or something like that. So something like that. So standard form is a scientific notation that is a short form of writing a very long figure, a very big figure like this, or a very small figure like this. So instead of writing this figure like this or like this, then we use a standard form to write it. So our standard form is coined around just one formula, one basic formula, which you can call the rule. So the rule says that the A times 10 raised to power n. So where this A is a base, so this is the base of that is the coefficient of the figure. So A is expected to be, the A is expected to be less than or equal to 1, but and also less than 10. So it's not expected to be greater than 10. So this A is not expected to be greater than 10. So that's one of the mistakes that some people do make in standard form. For example, you can have it as 12 times 10 raised to power, let's say 6. So you can't have something like this because this is very wrong in standard form. So instead, you have it as 1.2 times 10 raised to power 7. Yes, because you have to bring the point in more. So that is how you express your figure in standard form. So, and your n is the exponent. So the exponent of the 10. So that is the number of zeros that your figure is actually having. That's what the n stands for. So do not forget, answer in standard form can be less than or equal to 1 or less than 10. You get it now? So it shouldn't be greater than 10. If it is greater than 10, then your answer is wrong. Your answer is wrong in standard form. So now, how do we write this figure in standard form? Using this formula that we have, that is this rule. So what you can call the standard form rule. So this is the rule. So using this rule of standard form, how do we write this guy in standard form? So you count the number of every whole number has point at the end. So you just move the point inward. So how many times are we going to move this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. So that means the point will now be here. So that means this in standard form will be 9.8 times 10 raised to power 8. 10 raised to power 8. So why is it 8? So that is the number of times that will move the point. So the point that was originally here, every whole number has a point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I was wrong. So that should be 9. So that should be 9. So it is 9 times 9.8 times 10 raised to power 9. So for this in standard form, so that is going to be, since do not forget that our point moves to the left here. So when your point moves to the left, you have a positive exponent. You can see our point moves to the left here. So, and when your point moves to the right, you have a negative exponent. So you can see our point moving to the right on this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that becomes 4.2 times 10 raised to power 9. It's just coincidence that we have this. So, sorry, 10 raised to power negative 9. Do not forget that our point moves to the right. So, the rule for having a positive index or a negative index is when your point moves to the left, you have a positive index, that the exponent will be positive, and when your point moves to the right, you have a negative exponent. So, or better still, when your zeros are at the front of the figure, then it will be positive. But when your zeros are to the left side of the figure, then it's going to be negative. So that's another way you can actually judge where your points, whether your exponent is going to be positive or negative. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and do not forget to hit the like button, and let's continue. In this video, we'll be doing writing figures in standard form. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe and hit the like button. And you can also put on the notification bells so that you know whenever I upload more mathematics videos. Thank you. So, in this video, we want to be writing normal figures in standard form. So, how do we write normal figures in standard form? So, in case you've not subscribed to this channel, please help to subscribe and hit the like button. And you can put on the notification bell so that you know whenever I upload new mathematics video. So, to write figures in standard form, do not forget standard form follow this model. That is the A, which is the coefficient, multiplied by 10 raised to the exponent of n. And in my previous video where I introduced standard form, I told you that if the zeros are to the right hand side of the figures, like these figures greater than 1, so then it's going to be positive. So that means this is expected to give us positive. But when it is to the left of the figures like this, so that means it's going to be negative. So, or you say that when your point moves to the right, it will be negative. When your point moves to the left, it will be positive. So now let's write them in standard form. Let's write them in standard form one by one. So for this one, so we assume the point is yes, and the point is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is going to be 4.5 times 10 raised to the power 4, since we move it 4 times. So the number of times we move the decimal point is what we count. And do not forget our point moves towards the left. It moves toward the left. So let's do this next one, and let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. Yes, 6 in this case. So that becomes 6.78 times 10 raised to the power 6. And do not forget, it also moves to the left. It moves leftward. So, but in this case, it's going to move to the right. Let's see that. So that becomes 1, 2, 3, 4. So then that becomes 7.3 times 10 raised to the power negative 4. Do not forget, it moves to the right. It moves towards the right. So whenever your point moves towards the right, it's going to be, your exponent will have a negative sign. So now let's do the last one, which is this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that becomes 5.6 times 10 raised to the power negative 6. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is 10 raised to the power negative 7 because it moves 7 times. So do not forget that this is a rule for writing in standard form. And why can't we have this as probably taking it further and write 73? We can't have it because the value of our a here must be must not be greater than 10. So meaning that it must be less than 10. It must be less than 10. So the value of our a here must be less than 10. So it can be less than equal to 1, less than or equal to 1, or less than 10. So generally it has to be less than 10. So, and that is why if you check all our A, which is the coefficients here, they are less than 10. So, or what you can call integer anyway, 7.3 is less than 10, 5.6 is less than 10, and 4.5 less than 10, 6.78 is less than 10. So that's the rule for writing the figures in normal form in standard form. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. So in this video, we want to be writing figures in standard form in normal form. So we're going to write them as normal figure. So how do we write it as normal figure? And that is why we are here. So in case you've not subscribed to this channel, please help to subscribe and hit the like button. You can put on the notification bell so that you know whenever mathematical video is being uploaded by me. Thank you. So to write figures in normal form, just know that when the rule first, know that when your exponent is positive, that means your point will move to the right. But when your exponent has a negative sign, that means your point will move to the left. So your point will move to the left here, but in this case, your point will move to the right. Your point will move to the right. So when it is positive, because this has an invisible positive 5, positive, yes. So that means our 3.2 is going to move according to the number of the exponent. So that's, and from your loops, your empty loops will give it 0, 0, 0. So to do this, so that's going to be 3.2. Then you move the loops 5 times to the right. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So fill empty loop with 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means the answer here will be 3, 2, 0, 0, 0, 0. So that is 320,000. 320,000 in normal form. And for this one, let's do the math. Let's do the working. So do not forget it's -3, so meaning it's going to move to the left. It's going to move to the left. So we have our 9.01. So it will move to the left according to the number of the exponent, which is 3. Let's go 1, 2, 3. So that means you fill empty loop with 0, fill this place with 0, 0, and of course 0 here. So that means the answer for this is going to be 0.00901. So thank you for watching. This is the way to do it. And please do not forget to subscribe. These are to write figures in standard form as normal form. So meaning that 9.01 is equal to 0.00901 in normal form. So, and if you do not know how to change normal form to standard form, you can check my previous video or my all-in-one video that has everything for understanding. Thank you. Please subscribe. In this video, we want to be looking at multiplication in standard form. So the multiplication of standard form figures. And let me explain here that this is not things that every student should take lightly, because exam like WAEC, they don't joke with standard form. In fact, it comes out everywhere, every year. It comes out every year. So the last time I did my findings on some of the questions, I can see that it comes out literally every year in WAEC. So standard form comes out every year in WAEC, meaning that multiplication, division, and addition and subtraction in standard form, which is the trickiest anyway, should be known by every student that want to excel in those exams. So how do we multiply standard form? So first, let's have some of the rules that we need to follow. The rules that we need to follow when we are doing that. So first, multiply the coefficient. So multiply the coefficient. So you multiply the coefficient. So what you can call the COE, multiply the coefficient. And what you do, since in indices, whenever you multiply, you add the exponent. So, and add the exponent. Add the what? Add the exponent. So those are the two rules that we are applying to multiply this standard form. So first, let's do that with this. So we're going to do 3.2 multiplied by 2.5 uh, multiply by 10 raised to power 4 plus 3. You get it now? So that's what you're doing. So meaning you multiply the exponent, the coefficient, multiply the coefficient 3.2 times 2.5. So whatever you get, you record that and you add the exponent, and that gives you answer. So now let's do the working here. So if you use the knowledge of multiplication of decimal numbers, let's do that. So that is 3.2 multiplied by 2.5. So this is 10, keep 1, that's 15, 16. This is 4, and this is 6. So that becomes 0, 0, and 8. Yes, that becomes the decimal 00, so 8.00 is taken as 8. So that becomes 8 times 10 raised to power 7. Final answer. So leaving our answer in standard form, because for questions like this, you have to leave your answer in standard form, except the exam says you should leave it otherwise, probably in normal form. So these are to leave it in standard form. So thank you. Please, in case you've not subscribed, please help me to subscribe and hit the notification button and like the video. Thank you. So for this is quite easy. Then we'll do the same thing. So we multiply the base, that is the coefficient. So that becomes 6 times 4. Okay. Then we add the exponent. So that is 10 raised to power negative 5 plus positive 8. Well, plus positive 8. So this gives us 24. Okay. Times 10 raised to power 10 raised to power 3, that's positive 3. So negative 5 positive 8 will give us that. But do not forget, we cannot leave our base as this 2.4. So that is why WAEC derives joy in using this to actually check what every child knows. Okay, so we can't leave an answer like this. We can't leave an answer like this because our base, which is the root, cannot be greater than 10, can be greater than 10. And if you check, 24 is greater than 10. So that means we have to express it in another standard form by taking the point that was here, bring it here. That now becomes 2.4 times 10 raised to power 4. So the one we brought the point inside will be added to this. So that makes it 2.4 times 10 raised to power 4. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe and practice more questions. So in this video, we'll be doing division involving standard forms. So in case you do not know how to do multiplication, you can watch my previous video or you watch my all-in-one videos that has everything on standard form to understand. So to divide standard form, you have to follow the same rule, basic rule we followed under multiplication. How did we do that? So you do, first you divide your coefficient. So divide your C. So divide coefficient, and after you've done that, then you take away your exponent. Okay, you divide your coefficient and you take away your exponents. So that's because division in indices means you take away. Okay, now that's some of the power laws of indices, one of the power laws of indices. So let's get started. So that means we're going to do 9.6 divided by 1.2. Okay, so in brackets, then we try to multiply by this our exponent, which is 10 raised to the power 7 minus 3. So minus 3. So we'll do that. So now to do this, then you can use the knowledge of division of decimal numbers. Let's do that here. So that becomes 9.6 divided by 1.2. So we multiply by 10 here. So multiply by 10, multiply by 10. So that becomes 96 divided by 12. And let's start 6 here. 6 here, that's 2. 6 here, that's 1. In 36, that's 6. Here, 1, here, 8. So that's it. So that becomes 8 multiplied by 10 raised to power 4, positive 4. So thank you for watching. This is just how to divide in standard form. It's very easy, just like the multiplication. So the rule is that you divide the coefficient. That is, this is what I meant by the coefficient. That is your base figures. So that's 9.6 divided by 1.2. Then your exponents, since the division says you take away, then you take them away. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the notification button in case so that you will know whenever I upload mathematics videos. Thank you. This is another tricky part in standard form. In fact, the trickiest, if that is permitted. It's very tricky because these are one of the ways in which WAEC and all these JAMB, tough exams, try to check if kids truly understand standard form or they do not understand. So it's addition and subtraction in standard form. In case you've not subscribed, please help me to subscribe. Hit the notification button to know whenever I upload a video, and please help me to like my videos. Thank you for watching. So to handle subscribe in standard form, first thing you need to do is that you make them to have your 10 to have the same exponent. So try to make them to be the same exponent. Okay. So the first step is that make them to have the same exponent. That's the first step. And after that, you now add or you subtract the base. That is the coefficients. Okay. So after you made them to have the same exponents, then you add or subtract the base. Then you just take one of the exponents, that because you made them the same thing. So just like we did the way we do in indices. Okay. So to do that, this 10 raised to power 6, this 10 raised to power 5. So meaning that we have to make this to have the same exponent. So how do we do that? So that means our point we have to come once here. So that becomes 0.32 times 10 raised to power 6. So as you bring our point inward, you add 1 to this. So that means everything is now 10 raised to power 6 and 10 raised to power 6. So meaning that what we have now is 4.5 times 10 raised to power 6 plus 0.32 times 10 raised to power 6. So meaning what we're going to do now is that we add these two together, then we pick one of the 10 raised to power 6. Okay, just one of them. So that becomes 4.5 plus 0.32 in brackets, then times 10 raised to power 6. 10 raised to power 6. So if you use your column addition for this, that will give you 4.82 times 10 raised to power 6. So just bring the 10 raised to power 6 down. So that's the final answer for this. So the same way we did the addition, that's the same way we're going to do the subtraction as well. So do not forget to give them the same exponent. So this is exponent 4, this is exponent 3. So let's give them the same exponent. So by giving them the same exponent, to give them the same exponent, that means this we have to come to the left once and we add 1 to this. So if you do not know how to do that, you can watch the previous video, or you watch my all-in-one video that has everything about standard form. So that becomes 7.8 times 10 raised to power 4 in bracket minus 0.21 times 10 raised to power 4. So in another bracket. So we are now good to go with our subtraction. So meaning that we subtract the coefficient, which is the base, then we take one of the 10 raised to power 4. That's how to do subtraction and addition in your standard form. Please do not forget that. So that becomes 7.8 minus 0.21 in bracket times 10 raised to power 4. So we just pick one of them. So now to do that, let's take away here 7.8, 0.21. So fill empty space with 0. Let's take away. So borrow here, that becomes 9. This will be 7, and this 5, and this is 7. So that becomes 7.59 times 10 raised to power 4. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, and you can put on the notification bell to know whenever I upload a video, and also practice more questions, because math is a practical subject. And if you have any question you do not understand, you can send them to the number displayed on your screen. by WhatsApp. Thank you.